Hey guys, this is Ben Johnston. I'm a student at Academy of the Arts University, and this semester I've taken a few online courses, and those would include Introduction to Producing, History of Film from 1920s to 1940s, and Short Film Format. I think I got that right. And there's one course which I actually like the most, which is Nonlinear Editing, and it was a very fun course to participate in. The program we were asked to use is Avid, which, right off the bat, it's a very complex program, and it's very much a favorite for successful filmmakers, and it took me a while to get used to. It's especially from someone like me who's used Adobe Premiere Pro, so I would suggest for people who are new to editing, learn a basic editing tool first before you go into a class like this, because it takes a lot of time to get used to. Now, we had to do a final project, which is to edit a scene from Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and it was a very fun project because you get to edit the scene the way you want the scene to play out. And it's a 2-minute long scene, but it took me like a couple hours to do because you're experimenting with different takes and you're trying to find out the best way to have the scene flow naturally, but there are also some issues you had to fix. Like, there's one part where Ice-T's dialogue was very low and the dialogue was low, so you had to replace. So for my solution, I had to replace the audio clip with something else, like, that had better quality, and that pretty much solved the problem. Editing is probably the best part of filmmaking because that's when everything comes together to form the big picture, where you get to see everything the way it's meant to be seen. And it's a time-consuming process, but it's very fun and it's well worth the effort in the end. I might do another video on how I did the edit and the rationale I had for choosing the different takes. But for now, I'm just going to show you the final edit I did for a scene in Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Hero to some, hated by others.
It's called doing your job.
Well, I'm pissed the soda tax failed. Lindsay was behind that.
Who needs new taxes? New taxes already go to soda, a $4 billion subsidy for the corn syrup industry every year. That's why soda's so cheap.
A tax on that sugar water would help pay for the cost of diabetes and heart disease.
Sugar water isn't the only cause of obesity. I mean, at least Lindsay was helping the little guy.
The little guy, brought to you by Cola Now. Ah, refreshing.
Come on, money put to good use is good.
If Cola Now really cared about poor kids, they wouldn't go plastering their logo all over the place.
Well, maybe Lindsay knew deep down that she was doing the devil's work, so she went back to using drugs.
Yeah, except her tox screen came back negative.
But it only tests popular drugs. Cocaine, meth, X. PCP isn't on the standard screen anymore. So, people are jumping off bridges thinking they can fly.
Maybe she thought she could breathe underwater. We prove it was an accident, we go home, case closed.
But it wasn't an accident.
What?
Lindsay Elding was poisoned.
By who? The Smurfs?
Warner found mushrooms in Lindsay's guts, ran the DNA, and ID'd 4 species from South America.
That's not something you get from your local grocer.
I hope not. These contain high doses of muscarine, a toxin which makes you hot, sweaty, and sexually aroused.
I'm hot. I'm wet. Explains why Lindsay took her clothes off.
And why she threw herself at a jerk like Whit Worley.
Yeah.
And why she would jump in the fountain, but how come she drowned?
Muscarine toxicity can lead to respiratory failure. Lindsay took her last weak breaths underwater, but she would have died anyway.
It's a rough way to go.
It's okay, Lou. So one of Lindsay's enemies slipped her a deadly cocktail of shrooms. When?
They were in her jejunum. Dial back the digestive clock, and that puts you right about dinner time.
Okay, her calendar says that she was at a fundraiser for an organization called Wishing Time. They give away free jungle gyms.